Return to the bargaining table this week. Contract negotiations that will resume Tuesday are aimed at averting a strike by 340,000 UPS workers. The Teamsters' 5-year labor deal with the shipping giant expires at the end of the month. A strike of such magnitude could paralyze many supply chains and do tremendous harm to the economy. Former Vice President Mike Pence says the Department of Justice has lost confidence in the American people. More from Mark Mayfield.
Appearing on CNN's State of the Union, the 2024 Republican White House hopeful added that he thinks another indictment against his former boss would only contribute to that sense. Pence's remarks came after former President Trump announced last week that he received a letter informing him he's a subject in the DOJ probe into efforts to stay in power after losing the 2020 election. Pence vowed to clean house at the Justice Department if he's elected. I'm Mark Mayfield.
The chair of the House Foreign Affairs Committee says the U.S. soldier who crossed the border
This is a very special day. The breeze took the clouds all away. It swept the sky like a broom and got ready for a very special day. This is a very special time. Show me a hill I can climb. Give me a mountain to move, and I'll prove that it's a very special day. I woke up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror, and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet, that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day. Up early this morning with gloom on my head. Had a big feeling to climb back in bed. Then I looked in the mirror and somebody said, wake up, wake up. It's time for you to lose the blues, and this is a very special treat. Tell it to everyone you meet that life is all for living and love is all for giving. So this is a very special day. Tell it to everyone along the way that this is a very special day.
Very special day it is. It is a Monday. We're on to the 24th day of July. That means my partner in crime, my co-host this morning from Meadowview Healthcare Center, we have Krista Smith with us. Good morning, Krista.
Good morning.
Happy Monday.
Yes, happy Monday.
Yeah, by phone we do have our one and only Melissa Jeremiah from Hoosier Uplands. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
Monday. You know, it's a dark Monday. You know what I mean?
I was kind of surprised by the little pop-up rain.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
I cooled everything off, I guess.
Right. And that was just a little bit of a you're welcome. Little shock, but actually really good for the plants and the flowers and the gardens and stuff. So
yes,
not bad at all. Krista, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
Coffee Club sponsors Meadowview Health and Rehab, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Hoosier Uplands, Americans for Prosperity, Teas and Tumblers, Fox Perlee Wealth Management, Po' Boys Barbecue, and Leader One Financial.
Yay! Thank you to our great sponsors. Yay! All right, this is the 24th day of July. Let's go over it. Today is Amelia Earhart Day.
Oh,
Talk about
what an astonishing human being.
Absolutely.
Yep, fabulous.
And you're kind of a history buff.
I heard.
Go ahead, Melissa. Go ahead.
I said she always intrigued me.
Yeah. What Melissa, tell us what you felt like what intrigued you about, or intrigued you about her.
just because like she was a woman during like the time when we weren't expected to go out and like do like adventurous and things that would set records and things like that. She was kind of like a person before her time, I feel like.
Yes. Fabulous person.
And Krista, you got anything to add to that? Because Krista's a history buff too.
Well, I'm kind of intrigued by not only her accomplishments, but the mystery around what happened to her.
Yeah.
Of course, that's always been an enigma in the world.
Bring one of mine too into this conversation. The fashion. I loved her clothes.
I know.
I loved her clothes.
She was so statuesque.
Oh.
She could wear all kinds of things.
Yeah, she looked really
While
good.
she was making
Doing it.
huge accomplishments.
I know. You're not even, not just making huge accomplishments. You're looking good at doing it. Always amazed at that. And today's also Cousins Day. Love that.
Oh,
Great
okay.
cousins. Yeah, love that. National Drive-Through Day. Boy, the drive-through. How often do we go through the drive-through? Krista, you go through the drive-through?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Burger King knows that I come multiple mornings a week and get my large unsweet tea.
I love that. I love that. What about you, Melissa?
I went through the drive-thru and got my morning coffee. I always do the iced coffee.
Ooh, yum. Yum, 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 yum. Yeah, I think drive-through, like, especially, and I don't want to go back, but like COVID, like, we learned all about going through the drive-through, whenever like the sit-down part couldn't be open, people were really getting creative on the drive-through.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I think it still amazes me though, from the time they take my order till they hand it to me, how fast.
Yeah.
I really, in my kitchen, I just don't think I work that fast.
And one of my things, I like to go every now and then to Starbucks, and so like I have the app, so like we can be about 10 minutes away from Starbucks, put our stuff in, and then you just walk in the door, pick up your stuff, and you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A has kind of perfected the drive-through experience, I think.
Yeah. Chick-fil-A is God's chicken.
Yeah. I've heard Jesus chicken.
That's what I call it, Jesus chicken. But look at McDonald's. I use the app there, and I do that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Their mobile order, I order it, which I wish I'd have had this when my girls were all, because when you have 6 daughters, and and then my husband and I, that's 8 people, and that's a lot of food that for them to get ready. I wish I would have had that mobile app years ago.
Yeah.
That would have been a blessing for them and me, on that. Yeah.
Especially you.
Oh, me, yeah, definitely. Well, I would try to call. Listen, like, remember Barbara Mandrell? I was country before country was cool. I was mobile app before mobile app was cool, because I did call, I would call ahead and just say my order, so that, it wasn't so much
Wow.
drop 20 nuggets, drop some fries,
We're coming in.
Yeah.
Drop the nuggets.
That's right, drop the nuggets, right, for me, and make the Big Mac, okay? And 1 Big Mac. All right, anyway, so yeah, National Drive-Through Day. This is also National Tell a Joke Day.
Cool.
Well, I knew that, so there we go. Did you hear about the claustrophobic astronaut?
No.
He needed a little space.
Oh.
Okay, hang on. I got more, you guys.
Okay.
I'm full of my little bag of fun here. Did you hear about the actor who fell through the floorboards?
No, what happened?
He was just going through a stage.
Oh.
Okay.
I like that one.
Thank you. Yesterday I saw a guy spill all of his Scrabble letters on the road. I asked him what the word on the street was. Okay, here you go. Why do we tell actors to break a leg? Because every play has a cast. I'll drop the microphone right there. No. There you go. Tell those tonight at supper, you know what I mean? Yeah. It'll help the digestion.
It will.
Sure. The belly laugh, right? Mm-hmm. National Tequila Day. That might help the digestion.
That will help the digestion. It'll make those jokes even
a little funnier. Yeah. National Thermal Engineer Day.
Okay.
And this is Pioneer Day. I'm related, to some pioneers, back in the pioneer days. And before too long, we'll be talking about Old Settlers Days and all that going on in our community. So Pioneer Days. I don't know that I would have, of course you do what you have to do, but like, I don't know, I like electricity.
Do you?
I like indoor plumbing.
Yeah.
These are things I'm quite fond of, I don't
Yes.
know, would you ever want to go back into the Pioneer, Krista? No? What about you, Melissa?
No. Definitely no.
Yeah.
I'm not a camper. I don't want to go anywhere that doesn't have a bathroom,
Yeah.
somewhat.
Well, at least
I could go back maybe to like the 50s or something.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Again, the fashion was
I
good.
don't know, like I wouldn't mind visiting, I guess.
Yeah, I could visit.
But
Sure.
if you're doing like the quantum leap, leap me around a little bit. I wouldn't mind visiting, but I don't know that I'd want to stay.
No.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch the pioneers do things, the things they do, and how much longer, and how much slower, and the pace that they had. You know what
Yes.
I mean? I think it would take me a moment to, here, move over,
Calm
just let me
down.
do it.
Yeah. Why are you doing it like that?
That's right. Here, let
Scientists say that's
let
not
me just
the way to
Google
do it
that,
anymore.
okay? Thou hast taketh thou wrong path on this horse. Thy steed has gone down the wrong path. Here, let me Google it for you. You know what I mean? Right? I think we'd change it. But anyway, so get out and enjoy that. All right, so Melissa from Hoosier Uplands, we are going to talk about health, and we are, I've been joking, of course, anytime you see Brad Gilbert, just tell him summer's over, and he'll get trembling, okay? I told him after the 4th of July, summer's over, and he just, no it's not. He's got 3 more months, he says, of swimming.
Yep.
But anyway, so we are in July. We're actually getting kind of towards the downhill slide, but we know the heat is on. So Melissa from Hoosier Uplands, you're going to be talking with us a little about heat today.
Yes. I got to thinking about it because my granddaughter plays softball, and so she had been in Florida last week playing softball, and one of the positions she plays is catcher with all the garb on and everything, and so she had had a little incident where I wasn't with her, but I felt that she had a little bit of heat exhaustion, so I kind of had to talk her through it from afar. So I thought, well, it might be kind of nice for people to think about that. I mean, even if you're, even if it's, depending on whether you're active out in the heat or not, I don't think people sometimes realize how dangerous getting overheated can be.
Right, and I think that a lot of times we get busy, like, I know, like, I love playing outdoors, and I do stuff too, like, I haven't played softball in a while, but like get busy, and I do know that that a lot of times you're busy playing and doing or activities, or right now, let's say a lot of people are picking beans in the garden, or doing gardening, and you don't realize that sun is right there, getting barreling down on you.
Right. So, like, one of the things that it has is the first thing that it says, which I kind of feel like needs to be restated sometimes, is to not leave people or pets in a closed car when it's like this kind of temperature outside, because if your outside temperature is like 80 degrees, it can get like 130 degrees or something crazy inside a car. So, always watch about leaving animals or people, inside a closed car on a day like that we've had here lately.
Right, and don't we're now, like, we have so many, like we just talked about the drive-through. We even have, where you can drive through groceries, the groceries pick up at Walmart, whatever. Like, don't say, I'll just be a second, I'll run in and leave somebody in the car. I agree. Or a pet or a person.
Right.
Yeah, any animal in the,
just leave the doggies at home when it's this
I think
hot.
the dogs would rather be at home.
I think they would. Just
Yeah.
flopped out on the kitchen floor, all spread out,
In the air conditioning.
in the air conditioning.
Yeah, they have no reason, they don't want to leave, you know what I mean?
Nah.
Or a cat, or any animal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good reminder, just reminding everybody, don't leave. Or, I've left my phone in the car, and I'm telling you right now, it was like overheated completely. It's like not working.
Is yours like shut off when it gets
yeah.
hot?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done that several times.
I've had my phone laying outside before and had it send out like a emergency alert, because it thought, like, since I was with it, like I have like emergency contacts in my phone, and it sent out an emergency contact because I guess it thought that I could be overheated since it was.
And your phone would do that?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. My watch does that too. It always tells me things that I need to be doing. You know what I mean? Like one more thing needs to be telling me what I need to be doing,
Really?
right? I don't do anything unless I'm directed, right? Unless you tell me, I just don't know. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't need, to my watch and my phone. I'm like, okay, you guys can back it up. Okay, I do function. I do know how to do things. You know what I'm saying?
Phone says I need to go to the bathroom.
That's right. Or I need to stand up.
Okay.
You know how many times, like, if I'm in a meeting, you need to stand. I can't stand right now. If I stand up, it's going to look really awkward. You know what I mean? I should just say, stop the meeting. My phone my watch tells me I need to stand. You know?
One moment, please.
Yeah. And who are you to decide that I need to stand?
I
You know what I
know.
mean? It's like, okay,
See,
watch me.
I
I'm
don't-
getting a little salty with my watch over
I
here.
don't have
but-
one of those watches.
I know, but I have Snoopy on there, and he's really cute. So
Oh,
yeah,
well,
and when I go
he's
swimming,
adorable.
like he swims too.
Oh,
That's what I do. So that's
cool.
yeah, really. I'm sorry,
Woodstock
Melissa.
ever with him?
Huh?
Hey, I was just going to add to that I was at a meeting once, and I don't know how I did it, but I was messing with my phone and had new updates, and somehow I set something on my phone that it decided when I needed to go to bed and when I needed to get up, and it started setting alarms, and it would tell me, like, it decided that I needed to go to bed at 9 o'clock, and I needed to get up at 6.
Huh.
And so, so at 6 o'clock, the alarm would go off to get up, and then, like, about 8:30, it would start giving me reminders. Begin preparing for bed, and I'm like, it was crazy, but I got it turned off, and it doesn't do that no more.
I would say you're sadly mistaken because this chick is not going to bed. That's you know what I mean.
No.
Yeah, I mean right. I mean we got too many things going on, too much going on. Yeah, that's yeah. It is funny though how it takes over and does that. You know what I mean. So yeah, and I do have Krista asked if I had Woodstock. Yes, it has Woodstock and Snoopy, and they're absolutely adorable. And they do things like what I do. They do a lot of times. Like they're paired with me, so it's really cute. But speaking of the phones and stuff, I did. I know we're going down the rabbit hole, and I'll get over this real quick. But I thought this was cool. Alexa, when you say like Alexa do something or Alexa question, there's actually was a lady, and she actually recorded her voice for this.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's really cool. Like, you just don't see her very often, but anyway, I got to see an interview with her, and she's it's really cool that they can do that, you know what I mean? And like, she came up, like, she recorded like 4 hours every day for like 2 weeks, like different sayings and different things, and then they also took like her words and can make sentences too. It's really cool. Yeah.
I was wondering how I'm sure they have a set number of phrases and words that they have to include so that they have the right combination of, an approximate number of responses that are appropriate for
I just thought that was
Alexa.
mind-boggling. I was like, that was really cool, really interesting.
That's like a mathematical equation to try to figure out how many words she would have to speak and phrases.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm sure there's someone out there like pen and paper right now working it out. You go for it. I love getting your mind thinking of a morning. You know what I mean? Not that your mind shouldn't be thinking all day long. But all right, Melissa. Sorry, we went off squirrel. Sorry.
Okay,
Now let's get back to the heat. Now back to the heat. The heat is on.
The heat is on.
All right.
And one of the other things is to, whenever you are outdoors and it is hot, to wear loose, lightweight, light-colored clothing. So, stay away from like your dark, like black clothes and things like that. Wear things that are more light-colored, so that you don't draw in as much heat.
The touch, the feel of cotton. Right? Are we supposed to wear cotton?
Yes.
Yes, you should.
Yeah. It's supposed to be breathable.
Yeah.
We need breathing.
Yeah. Linen is supposed to be breathable as well.
And also to wear a hat that would be enough to protect your face when you're outside and help shade your face a little bit, like the wide hats that you see at Derby and things like that, I suppose.
Wide brim, I'm all for it. No, I mean I will cover it up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm gonna put a ski mask on to go outside. No, I
Not a
honestly.
hat wearer.
You don't wear hats?
No.
Oh, I love hats. I love a good hat. Yeah.
I just don't.
Well, and especially in the sun. You're right. Yeah, like those, and there's some really cool ones. You know, there's so many ways to play this. You have ball caps, which I love a good ball cap. You have, you know, the wide brim, the what do you call it, the straw hats. You have felt hats. There's I know everything there is to know about hats. As you can see, I'm a fan of hats. I like hats. Yeah.
And also remember to have fluids with you so that you can remain hydrated. And, you know, have the fluids be like water or Gatorade or something like that. If you're going to be out in the heat an extended period, stay away from sugary, caffeine drinks, and stay away from alcohol if you're going to be out in the heat for a prolonged time.
On National Tequila Day.
Yeah.
Stay away from, Well, I know, now this would be my, okay, like I'll do the hat, I do all of that. I try to wear the lighter, you know, the you know, almost, you got to be decent in public, but,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, but lighter, you know what I mean,
Yep.
lighter fabric.
Lightweight.
Yeah. But as far as the water, that's where I think we forget to do that. We get busy.
Yes.
Well, and it also says to make sure to keep your pet in mind. So if you have your pet with you wherever you are, to also take water for your pet.
So if you have your pet sitting in that hot car, don't forget water. No, don't
He's
do it.
sitting in the hot car. He's walking with you, or at a softball game, or
Yeah.
he's out with you.
Yeah, no, I know. I literally, this is so, my dogs are like, they really are like, I'm one with them. I don't know. I just know their needs.
Mm-hmm.
I know. They make sure I know them. And like, I can tell when they need water.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I try to keep their water bill full. You know what I'm saying? But like, when they want something refreshed, like, I like get their cold water, like some ice in it.
With some ice in it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They love that.
We love our mommy.
Yeah. Do that for
And
cats.
also, if you have your pet out with you and you're walking outdoors, to keep in mind that the asphalt and the dark pavement could be too hot for your pet to walk on. I mean, so kind of think if you wouldn't want to walk on it because you think it's too hot, you don't want to have your pet walking on it. So let them walk in the grass or dirt or something besides the asphalt.
That is so true. I had a, you know, I love Great Danes, and so I had one Sherman, and I was showing him, and all of a sudden, like his pads of his feet, it was too hot.
Yeah.
Like, and he was like, I could tell like he was not, you know, something was really getting him, and it was, and that's something that like. They make booties, but they don't make booties big enough usually for the Great Danes. But anyway, but like, yeah, so we had to go to the grass, and once I explained that, it was justified. You know what I mean? But yes, you're totally, yeah, that's a good point. That asphalt gets so hot, you know.
And I guess, you know, you should also keep that in mind if you have like kids and
Oh yeah.
a lot of kids, you know, like run around barefoot, you know, in the summer, or like babies that people, you know, that are like toddlers that they don't have their shoes on. So I mean, that asphalt can really heat up fast.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That's very good. Yeah, and we've all been like that, where like we barefoot, and like all of a sudden you like go to get something, and all of a sudden oh. And pool areas, you know, if you go to like pool areas too, can be very, you know, they're around the concrete, or you know, gets very hot too.
Yeah, you think it's all refreshing with the water, but if it hasn't been cooled off with water every so often, it'll scorch you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good thoughts. Yeah.
And then to keep in mind the signs that you are potentially getting overheated. And if someone has heat exhaustion, the signs are that they start getting dizzy, or they feel like they might pass out. They sweat like excessively. Their skin will get cool and pale and be kind of clammy whenever you touch it. They can start feeling like they're going to be sick at their stomach, or they could start vomiting. They have a rapid pulse, and they may start getting muscle cramps. So, you know, those are times that if someone starts having any of those symptoms, they need to get indoors.
Right. And those are things that, like, but it happens so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
Right.
like those, everything you're saying right there, like, happens just like in seconds. You know what I mean? Like, you start doing this, and you start feeling this, and then you start feeling clammy, and all of that, those symptoms. So, are you going to, like, tell us then what we're supposed to do? Because I have been a lot of places where I've seen, like, a lot of people, like, for heat, they've gone down because of heat.
Well, the number one thing is to get the person indoors into like an air-conditioned area so that they can start cooling off. If it's to an extreme, you may want to have the person take a cool shower or get in a cool bath. And you would also, you can take like cool compresses or like, even ice, if, like that you would put on if, like you'd hurt your leg or something, and put that like on their neck, like around like the back of their neck and on the sides of their neck, like where their carotid arteries are, and that will help to cool the person off quicker. So, go, and then also get water or Gatorade into the person if they can keep that down.
Yeah. Because I know sometimes, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And then, something else a person can get, which is even more of a heat emergency, is to have heat stroke. And one of the main ways you can kind of tell if a person has heat stroke or heat exhaustion, with the heat exhaustion, the reason you'll think that you're exhausting your fluids, because like you're having all that sweating with the heat exhaustion. But with the heat stroke, they don't sweat. Like, they are hot, but they are not sweating any at all. They start having a throbbing headache. Their body temperature is, their skin gets really red. It's hot. Their body temperature can get like 103 degrees. Like if you took their temperature, they have nausea, vomiting. They have a rapid, very strong pulse. If you feel their pulse, it's just bounding. And the person can even pass out from it. So if you have someone that you feel that it's heat stroke versus heat exhaustion, the heat stroke person you need to call 911. That's one of those things where they need to get medical treatment. And until the ambulance arrives, you would need to do things to help cool the person. And so that would be like where you would get the cool compresses and put them on like pulse points, like on their neck or even like in their groin type area, put like ice packs to try to get them cooled off, because that is the heat stroke. Not that heat exhaustion is not bad. I'm not saying that that's a good thing, but the heat stroke can be like a life-threatening situation.
Oh, wow. So know the difference there because the stroke is like the extreme is the worst. That's more they're dangerous, I guess. Yeah. So on this, as far as because I've seen it like at concerts or stuff, a lot of that. And sometimes there's just you can't get to that shower so that's where they make those cooling towels. Mm-hmm. Those are, I don't know, I've not had one, but I've heard of those, that. Or I guess basically try to get some kind of a paper towel or something wet as much as possible. I guess that's the thing you can do if you're outdoors, or let's say you're in the garden, and you don't have access, to the garden hose. Of course, I just want to say, when you turn that garden hose on, that first little bit is hot as, you talk about
boiling.
Talking blazing hot. Yeah. Been there and done that. You know what I mean? So you want to wait and let it cycle through real quick, and then get that cooler temperature, right? But can you go too extreme? All of a sudden, is it hard on the body when all of a sudden you go from one extreme to the other?
Well, I mean, I feel like that, like you wouldn't want to put the person in like an ice bath or something like, something that extreme. But like if it's just like a cool shower, or if you're putting just like the ice packs like on just like their carotid arteries or like their groin area, that isn't the same as like submersing somebody in like an ice bath or something like that. But, I don't think you would want to go that extreme with the person. And also, if the person is having a heat stroke, or if you're afraid that they are, you do not want to give that person anything to drink.
Oh.
To try to cool them from the outside.
Oh, and that's something, though, that we all would do, is go get some water and try to get them to drink water, right? I mean...
But the thing with the heat stroke is they could end up passing out on you, and then they're also going to be nauseous, and so they could aspirate. So, like, they could end up getting sick and not being awake, and end up getting something into their lungs that they shouldn't.
Right.
Oh, wow.
And if they vomit, they're losing more fluid that way, too.
Yeah.
So
Right. Oh, my
at the
goodness.
most, you can, put water or ice cubes on their lips or something. Sometimes that helps.
What about, like, sucking on, like, ice cubes, or, like, ice cube or something like that?
As long as they're still awake.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to do that if somebody's passing out.
Right.
It's usually best just to keep it on the outside, though.
Outside their mouth.
Mhm.
Well, these are good things, and a lot of times we know this stuff, and we've all heard this stuff, but like it's always good to go back over it,
Yep.
Right. And also, remember that you can remove excess clothing. So, like, if the person has on, like, maybe like a cami type shirt or like a t-shirt or something, and they have another shirt over top of it, to go ahead and remove like anything that's like excess clothing.
Yeah, take off their shoes, let
Yeah.
their feet, yeah.
Right.
Well, these are, definitely, and I think that that's something that and that's where, like, I know we were talking earlier about our watch, but that's where something like if you were by yourself and you start feeling all this, that would be, when you have your watch or something, you can make calls or messages to people, not feeling well, or something like that. So those are good, those are kind of good things to have. Or if you have your cell phone, you can make a call real quick, to someone on that. But I do.
And also, remember to keep an eye on, like if you have your kids with you, or maybe you have an elderly parent, so, try to keep an eye on the people that you're charged with keeping an eye on, whenever it is hot, because like you said, Becky, it's like you're fine 1 minute and then you're not. I mean, it's like, it isn't like it's a prolonged type of thing. You kind of get all the symptoms at once.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I know that everybody that I've seen, it just like, it happens, and that's something like that can come up on you, and just like let's say you have a get together, we're going to be coming up on reunions, people getting together, birthday parties or whatever, and you're outside, which it's a fun time and a great time, but like I know, like when you're playing hard and you don't realize, I think that water, just trying to make sure that people are keeping hydrated, taking breaks every so often, just kind of cooling off a little bit. But I think that a lot of times we don't do that. We get in the moment, and I'm as guilty as anybody. But anyway, but taking that time is so important, and getting that water. I think that's, and also like doing it the day before. Like if you know your children are going to go to a birthday party outside, a swim party or something, try to the day before make sure that they're getting drink a lot of water. And even if they take a drink or two, just keep chugging, try to get that, encouraging that water.
Yeah, I think that's very, probably one of the most important things is to always, if you're going to be outdoors and you're going to be doing something where it's hot or where it's strenuous, to always keep, either water or Gatorade or something like that with you so you can stay hydrated.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else, Melissa?
I think that's pretty much the most of it. And also, it does say that the people that they consider to be high risk is infants and young children, people 65 or older, people who are overweight, people who overexert with work and exercise, and people who have heart disease, high blood pressure, or take certain medications for depression, insomnia, or circulation. And, and also one of the things to kind of keep in mind is this could also impact the people that are working outdoors. Because, even though that you're used to being outdoors, you still need to be hydrated, especially if the temperature is expected, like maybe you're used to working out and it's like in the, it's like 78 or something like that. But then if it's going to be up in the 90s, you need to keep in mind the things that you could do at your job if your job is outdoors.
Right, yeah. And that's, and you do have, like there's a lot of construction right now going on, construction workers, you think about those hard helmets and then they have to wear those heavy boots.
Yes.
That's what I feel like. Oh my goodness.
And all that blacktop.
And I was going to say, they're right there on that pavement.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they, need to stay hydrated and stay, keep plenty of water. But I know when I love to play and we play hard, that's something, and do a lot of sweating. What about the people that don't sweat? That's very dangerous for those that don't sweat.
Right. There are people that medically don't sweat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and if you're not sweating, then, that is one of the people that don't sweat would probably be more susceptible to getting the heat stroke, because they wouldn't be excessively sweating to get heat exhaustion. So it's like that heat would just continue to build in their body because it's not got an outlet by them sweating.
Right.
I don't sweat, I perspire.
I'm not one of those. I sweat.
I sweat too. No, me too. Oh, it's game on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
Like dripping.
Yeah.
You're leaking fluids from your pores.
Oh yeah. No, mine. Yeah. It's all in. Yep. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of ugly.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Oh, well.
It's good. It's a good thing. I always feel I like sweating. It's good. It's good for you to sweat.
I figure my body's pretty efficient if I'm sweating that much.
That's right. I'm kind of my point of pride here. Look what I'm doing over here. Look what's going on here.
My rationalization.
Yeah.
Look how hard I'm working.
Look at me. Yeah. Splash some water on my face. Yeah. No, I don't have any problem, but I do know that, and I have came across people that cannot sweat, and that's, I think they have to be very careful. I think a lot of them do know that, and I think if that's again, knowing your body and knowing how to take care of yourself. Yep. Yeah, so again, that would be something you really want to watch. But as far as the sweating and everything is a good thing, and I'm all for activity. I love, moving, getting out, and activity, but I think we just have to be very safe when we do.
Well, and also another thing is to consider if you're on like new medications, to check with your pharmacist and see if any of those medications can make you predisposed to having some kind of a heat illness, because there are medications that can cause you to have an intolerance to heat.
All right, good information. Always, again, keeping good relationship and keeping up, and I think that's something, taking care of yourself and knowing, what you're putting in your body and what reaction it's going to have, and what all's involved. I think that's good. Again, we talked about that, making sure you know what's going on, staying in the know.
Educate yourself.
Yeah, being responsible on that. Yeah, for sure. All right, anything else, Melissa?
I would just say that my last thing would be that, that even though if you have teenagers and who don't necessarily like to have mom or dad like hounding them about things, it is good to send them out with, some things if they're going to be going out in the heat, like send them out with some drinks and make sure that, maybe you could get them one of those towels like you had talked about that like are cooling towels, just in case that, they got in a situation where there was an overheating type issue.
Yeah, I think if you have some way of keeping one on hand, even if you don't use it for someone else, or and I think that those are good things to have, like in your emergency kits, and I think also encouraging, always like saying, are you drinking? I know we had a big birthday party yesterday. I remember that was the thing. I think we need a drink. When you see everybody red faced and because they've ran and played so hard, just trying to get them to, sit down for a moment, take a little bit of water and drink. Those are things we just have to be very aware of, I guess.
Right.
So also, sunscreen too. I know there's some people say be careful, on some of the sunscreen you use, but, watching that and making sure that, you're applying, and remember it can sweat off, or if you're jumping in the pool, it can, wash off. So try to keep applying that every so often too.
Right. That is true.
Yeah, so I think, we want everybody to have a great time and fun, and we just don't want anybody to have anything that might not, go smooth, I guess.
Yeah, it's going to be in the...
Well, and I think sometimes, like if you're on vacation, like Maddie, for example, she was in Florida. Well, she isn't used to the heat in Florida as much living in Indy, and so it's like, so they were in a situation where there was, it was hotter than what she had been used to, so I was glad that she kind of shared with me that it was very hot, and then I was kind of able to assess what was going on with her and then give her some tips to get cooled off, and she was headed back to the hotel, and I'm like, well, take a cool shower, and, then I sent her a message, and I said, Meemaw's worry, because I know that she's probably thinking, oh, goodness, now so here we go, but, I was worried about her because she did have several of the symptoms for the heat exhaustion.
I think that we do what we do. That's we can't help but worry, right? That's
right.
What else are we going to do in our day if we don't worry, right? About them? No, I'm just being silly, but no, that's good, and to remind them too, and and we're all guilty of that. Every one of us, you can get busy doing something, and let's say that even with our work, we're outside doing something, and let's say Christy, you are outside doing stuff, maybe working in the flowers or whatever at Meadowview. You might lose track of time and realize you've been out there for a while and haven't had water or had something,
Yep.
Melissa, you like to go also and ride your bike, and I'm sure a lot of times you guys, get on it and don't realize, and I'm sure that's got to be hot with a helmet and and all of that for your motorcycle.
Yeah, it can get really hot, especially if you're like somewhere where you're stopping in traffic.
Yeah.
Having that setting is not a good thing on a motorcycle when it's hot.
No, I can't imagine that it would be. So, these are all just good tips to do, and reminding everybody, we want everybody to have fun and be safe. And, we're like 2 or 3 weeks, I hate to say this for all the school kids out there and the teachers, until school starts.
Right.
And so, I know a lot of people are doing, like a last blast or doing stuff, outdoors activities and stuff. So just staying healthy and staying safe and making sure that everybody around you is too. Especially, and, if you do, when the girls were little, we always had slumber parties and birthday parties. So, that's something, when you're hosting something like that, you want to make sure that you are, making sure the kids are drinking plenty of water and sunscreen and, and resting every so often.
Yeah.
Also, I need to go back, and I knew, once I said it, I knew I said it wrong, but it wasn't Alexa, it's Siri. Siri was the lady. It was Siri. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And now
Again.
she's responding to me right now. My phone's trying to talk to me. Stop. Anyway,
Well, it's
again,
just fascinating.
I know. It wasn't Alexa. Yeah.
What the combination of words and phrases they could
Oh, absolutely.
figure out that are necessary for Siri.
Right.
That's just cool.
Yeah.
I'm always interested in my science and math. I keep hitting the microphone today. I don't know what's the matter with me.
That's
Hit it
okay,
twice.
yeah.
Everybody's kind of like, oh my gosh, lady.
my ears. No, I think you're okay. It's not that loud, but it is. Yeah, and I'm with you on that. I thought it was very interesting too. So if you want to Google it or look it up, it's really cool. It's really cool to hear from her on that. But I wanted to correct. I once I said it's Monday. You know how you like second guess yourself on everything.
Yes.
It seems like But I think anyway. I think like Melissa. I think having fun and going places and doing stuff and just taking care of our health, no matter what you're doing. Also, make sure you're eating too. And that's something too. Don't try to go without eating too.
I don't know why
that's
you would
true.
do that anyway.
Yeah. Why would anyone do that anyway? Right. Yeah. And that kind of brings me to. Did you know another thing? This was kind of cool. Speaking of heat, this is a. Have you ever burned your hand on your steering wheel? This is kind of going back. Well, a recent study looked at just how hot a steering wheel can get. Researchers tested 6 different cars parked in the sun on a 100-degree day. After an hour, the steering wheels average 127 degrees. To put that in perspective, that's 111 is when we start to feel pain. First degree burns are 118, and second degree burns are possible at 130. So you're almost to a second degree burn if you hit that. So here are a few more spots in your car. So the air temperature inside your car, 116 degrees after an hour in the sun. Right there, just like Melissa just talked about, your pets, your kids, everything, you know. Or if you're just sitting there, you know what I mean? Like if, you know, that's way too hot. Number 2, the seats get 123.
Yeah.
123. The dashboard get 157.
Oh, goodness.
Okay.
Yeah. They didn't, and this is not funny, but okay, I'm thinking like the dashboard, you know, you have those, like what's the things like you put up, like the shades or whatever, like you can I don't know if they really, I'm not really knowing if they work. Do they work very well? I don't know.
I think they certainly
You
lower the temp a little bit. I mean, but if your windows are all up and you're still sitting in there, or someone's sitting in there, that's not going to help a whole lot. That's just dead air in there.
Yeah. Dead air, which we are on the radio very much against dead air. Yeah, dead air. Yeah. Now you just got me nervous over here. I just got even saying the word dead air.
Dead air.
No. It's like Mufasa. Whoa.
I love that part.
Mufasa. Ooh. Yeah, that's me when you say dead air. Ooh. Anybody in radio. Ooh. Don't do that on a Monday, Krista. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm over here. Yeah. Melissa, I'm having stroking going on over here. It's not heat. It's not heat. Okay. Okay. So anyway, but this is and this is something they point out, and I do know this, and I've been a victim of this. I've had this happen to me. They didn't test the metal. You know the metal flaps on your seat belts.
Yeah.
Have you ever touched one of those? Oh my goodness, they burn.
Yeah.
I've had that. I've had that happen. But they didn't. I'm interested. I bet that would be off the chart.
Yeah.
I mean, you know those. It's like actually. It says like it's like joking, but it says like touching the surface of the sun.
Of the sun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were reading those things off, and I remember the car that I had in high school. It was a Dodge Omni with no air conditioning and vinyl seats, and it was so hot. You'd sit on those seats, and it was just like instant sunburn on your skin. You know? So hot. I mean, steering wheels now have the padding or some sort of covering on them, and I'm sure it's because the older, I mean, think of vintage cars with all that metal on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Just frying people's hands.
Oh, I know. And you get up like, and if you're sitting like you have vinyl seats or leather seats or whatever you have, and you get up and like your legs just, and like usually there's like in like where the seats, if the seats are like indented or whatever, and it's just like you go, you arrive somewhere and you look good, you try to look good, and you got these ditches in the back of your legs.
You get like sweat marks on your legs.
Melissa, I'm sorry, we're off target.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, but like you know how they do that, you know what I mean? So like a lot of times, like people will put towels down. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like those help a little bit. You know what I mean? Or like if you sit on, you know, those chairs are like waffle chairs, and you get up and then you got waffles all over your. Yes. You know what I'm talking? Are they called waffle chairs or something like that? They look like waffles. I don't know. The little holes, the little.
I know what you mean, but I don't know.
You know what I mean if I say a waffle chair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, and you get up and then the back of your legs are waffled.
Yeah.
So, just little fun facts talking about heat. Or you get up, one more time, and your shorts or your dress stick to you because the struggle is real. I'm telling you, it is.
It's
like
a struggle.
So real. Yeah. That's why just, you know, staying in the air conditioning and...
Don't get me wrong, I like being outside, but
yeah. Or if you're at a pool, you jump in a pool.
Sure.
Yeah.
But if you try to, like, if you're at an event that's outside and it's sticky hot and
Oh.
you need to be like put together for this event, oh my gosh,
Oh.
I'm so preoccupied about not sweating and not getting wrinkly and not having a sweat stain if I sit down or whatever, that if I'd probably make it worse. I'd probably.
No, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, if you start thinking about it, then you start like doing it. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Yeah,
I
exactly. You know what I mean?
know.
Or like if somebody walks up to you, oh, isn't it hot? Are you hot? Boy, it's hot out here. You know what I mean? You're like, oh my goodness, yes. You know what I mean? It's like power of suggestion, right? Melissa, are you still with us? Sorry, Melissa.
I am so with you. I'm good.
Okay. You know what I mean? Do you feel like that too? The power of suggestion?
Yes.
It's like,
If somebody says that, they're cold or they're hot or, a multitude of things.
well, it's like a silly yawn. You know, a yawn can be completely contagious. You know,
Absolutely.
somebody starts to yawn, then you know what I mean. Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Have you seen the things on, like, the internet where, like, the people, like, yawn and their dog yawns?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Now I do this. I've got a Great Dane that loves a good side eye. So like he sits angled at me so that he can look at me in the side eye. No, he does this on purpose.
Yeah.
I know you're wanting me to be impressed with that side eye. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's shady Grady. You know what I mean? He's like shady over there with that side eye. But like I'll wink at him, like, and I'll see if he'll wink back at me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like we do this whole eye thing. I don't know. It's probably like I don't know what's going on. We're weird, but like, have you ever like tried to get like a dog to wink at you? Like,
I have not.
okay,
Never tried that.
like if you do the double blink, like it's like
Yeah.
totally like he's like, get out of here. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like that totally makes him upset. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's. I don't know what you're doing over there.
What you're
but
doing
Stop
is
it.
wrong.
Yeah.
No.
My cat, one of my cats, he'll, like, slow blink at you. Like, you can slow blink at him, and he'll do it back at you. And I've looked it up on the internet, and it says that's a way of saying that they say they love you.
Wait.
Like a slow blink at you.
No,
What's
like-
a slow blink? I might
it's
need
like-
a little more definition.
Like, you're, like, shutting your eyes, like, just, like, kind of real slow, and then open them real slow. Like,
Well.
if it doesn't translate on video, it's good. Just, like, he'll do the same thing at me.
Yeah,
I'm
I've tried that with Gertie Boo.
Well, it's hard, like, you know, I have an English bulldog, and she's always asleep, you know what I mean? You have maybe 15 minutes in the day to see her her eyes, you know what I mean? You know, talk about a sleeper. Yeah, but the Dane likes the good, yeah, I'm going to have to try that. I'm going to have to try that. I have tried to act like I'm asleep, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, you know, he don't care. But then, then usually he does try to, yeah, he'll usually fall asleep too, try to, but yeah, but... it is amazing, you know, what you feel, and I think the animal. I'm not an animal expert, but I think like in some like they say a bear, you're not supposed to or like some animals you're not supposed to look them in the eye because it challenges them.
Yeah.
But I think my domesticated dog, it is not challenged. He doesn't care. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, are we going to play this game or why does she do this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think like so I want to put a pin in that to make sure that people, if you're out in the wilderness and you come up on a bear, you're not supposed to look it in the eye, right? Or you're not supposed to challenge it. Which
I don't know. I've heard both things. I don't know.
you're supposed to look it in the eye.
I've never come across a bear. I don't know.
Well, like especially like a gorilla too. Like you're not supposed to look him in the eye. That's like, remember we learned that in Tarzan. Remember Tarzan? You're not supposed to look him in the eye. Remember it's like they have to be the superior. You have to be the alpha. They have to be the alpha.
Tarzan? Was it the
Yeah,
real
I
life?
know.
Was
There's
it
so
a-
many of them. I know.
Yeah.
I love a good Tarzan though. You know. Yeah, but I don't think you're supposed to really look them unless you are Tarzan. You know what I mean?
That's different.
Then you could look them in the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I think so that with bears, there's a difference if it's a black bear or a brown bear. Because I think that like a brown bear, they say that's the one you're supposed to just kind of lay down and play dead, and they leave you alone. But the black bear, you're supposed to like make noise at it and appear larger than it by putting your arms in the air, and then it will leave. But don't take that as a guarantee.
well, if we're gonna do it, then I'm going into my bear experience. Okay. I thought I'd be talking about my Shark Week experience.
It is
But
Shark Week.
it is Shark Week. I'm over the moon about that.
Yeah.
But and I'm very obsessed with that. That's probably why I'm tired this morning. You know, you play, you pay. But anyway, the bear, I had a bear experience, and now what I was told to do, and I did, like you're supposed to, like, now I don't know, I feel like I'm going to need to put a disclaimer, you know what I mean? We here at WSM do not necessarily, I should not, maybe I put a disclaimer responsible for this, but
We're not exactly in bear country.
no, I'm not.
Right
now. Yeah. So I was in Tennessee, and it was funny. We kind of joked like, "Oh, I bet there's a bear down there in that." You know what I mean? But you're thinking no, because they've got like different trails. Well, there was a bear. Okay, or over there. But anyway, yeah, if we came upon a bear, but they say to run, like, well, if you run diagonal, like, or run, like, don't run straight, run crooked.
Serpentine.
Is that what is
Serpentine.
they say like that because like a bear like follows straight line, and so they say to go like so I did the can you imagine the visual if there would have been any video cameras in this, like they say run
Yeah, like back and forth.
back and forth because the bear, like, well, that'll throw the bear off. But needless to say, I just want to say this bear was like, I'm not even about that. So it didn't have any interest in coming after me. But
The bear was probably like, what are you doing?
I know, what's that crazy lady? Oh, a tourist. Oh, she's from Indiana.
Not from here.
Yeah. So so I'm like, oh my goodness. So I realized, that, it didn't matter, but it hadn't really wanted to, like, I guess, or like it had thought something. We did look at each other, but we just had a little bit of a glance. It was like one of those, like, all of a sudden, you might have a little glance with someone, you know what I mean? Maybe, but it wasn't, but anyway,
Not
they say,
confrontational.
no.
Just oh crap, there's a bear.
Yeah.
And then you start running away.
I do this big production.
Fashion.
He doesn't even care. You know what I mean? It's like, did he not? It's almost like, what was wrong with me? Why did you not? Your ego, then. What was the matter?
Did that bear chase me?
Yeah, I don't know. Why are you not chasing me? Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Silly,
Anyway,
silly.
Right. So but I think you're supposed to stay and stop. But I did hear someone say that if you do run, don't run in a straight line. So that's but I am sometime this week I'm going to have to tell, or I need to talk about my shark encounter, but that was my bear encounter. So I've had quite a bit with nature. Okay.
Wow. You had a shark encounter? That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. So you asked, have you not heard, Krista, have you, Melissa, heard my shark encounter?
I don't think so.
Oh,
Okay.
I think we need to know.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was like, everybody that knows me is like, oh, they're rolling their eyes. They're turning off their radios right now. Okay, they're going.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. We're going in deep, boys. Okay, so we were in, I'll tell you exactly, Jacksonville, Florida, okay?
Uh-huh.
So that kind of sets the tone that the water is murky. Okay, it's not the real. They're like different parts of, like, I get confused, but like it was kind of a murky water. Okay, So we were tired and we thought we were going to be heading back, and you don't leave Florida if you don't get some kind of a tan or a burn, right? I mean, you got to have something to show that you've been in Florida. Some kind of, like, it's like a trophy, right? You got to have some kind of trophy.
Yep.
So anyway, so we were like laying out, and so before that though, where we put our towels down, there was this guy, and he was throwing chum in the water and fishing. Okay, he was fishing there on the beach, like. So, okay, being from Indiana, I try not to judge. You know what I mean? Just, I don't know if that's right, but it didn't seem right. I kept thinking, throwing water and chum in the water in the ocean usually draws attention that you don't want. So I kind of said that, and they said no, it's legal. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I'm not trying to judge you. I just don't understand. People are swimming here. There's a lifeguard over there. And you're chumming and you're fishing. I don't know if it was. I need to kind of guess. See, I don't know if they've stopped doing that now. I think they've kind of put a halt on that now. But anyway, I don't know. on that. But anyway, so I did think it was weird, but we lay out, and all of us, or so anyway, we lay out, and it's like hot, and like, you know how when you lay out, the sun, again, we just talked about how heat it is, and your eyes are kind of glossy, or, you know what I mean, and you just, you go in there. So I went out a little bit deeper, but I was, you know, because I was so hot, you know, you're trying to get refreshed and everything, and all of a sudden, 2 fins come right up by my legs.
Oh my gosh.
No, I mean, and I can see them, okay? And all of a sudden, I say, Jesus walked on the water, so did I. But I get thinking, though, I got thinking that actually, that when they were by me, and they were by my legs, I was standing still.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So, like, I wasn't, like, moving. Now, as soon as I, you know, then I started moving, okay?
Right.
But, like, I was, like, standing there, just like, you know, how you just get in the water and you're standing. And then, so that's probably why there wasn't any. So the lifeguard comes running over, and I go flying out. And they said if they wanted you, they would have had you. You know what I'm saying? So then, again, what's wrong with me? It's a horrible mentality. You know what I mean? What's wrong? Okay. But anyway, no, she said, so then I said, do we not need to call the news? Do we need to tell the, and they said, no, the only news only comes out if you got bit.
If you were bitten.
Bit.
Yeah.
So I thought, what's a person got to do to get bit around here? No, just kidding. Anyway, no, I do not want to be on the news. But anyway, but I thought that was different. But I was like, and I said, that was so, and then, so then I'm kind of upset, to be honest. I'm kind of, then all of this shock comes off of me, and I'm like, wait, that wasn't, that he was doing this. He was bringing, that chum was bringing these sharks in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why would you have swimming and this, you know, to me this is a conflict of interest here, right? So she said that, she goes, it's allowed, but anyway, but she said, and then of course, you know, I said we're from Indiana, and she said, well, it's just like, and she obviously didn't know Indiana, because she said it's just like you have bears in your woods. That was not, I was like, we don't have bears in our woods. We have deer, you know what I mean? You know, but maybe a panther or a cougar or a bobcat every now and then, you know what I mean? But, or I guess we have had a bear before, but not normally.
No.
But she said, you're in their environment, you're in their world. But I thought, you know, that was, I guess that was a whole nother, you know, I mean, yes, that's right. I did go into his world, their world.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Right.
So.
But they were drawn.
They were being drawn
closer to
the
shore.
So it was, they said, and one more thing she said, this lifeguard had a lot of good wisdom. They usually feed like of a morning and of an evening.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't feeding time. They were just in that area, you know, I don't know what they were doing in that area, but
hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out, just saying hi, you know.
Yeah.
Greetings. They were on the greeting committee. I don't know.
Hey Ralph, let's swim up by the shore and see what's down today.
Yeah. Needless to say, I am very cautious anymore. I just don't ever want to. I don't want to have that again. You know what I mean? But
oh my.
Yeah. So so I do a whole nother approach. I'm not against the ocean, but like it's a whole nother. I like the beaches where they're really clear and there's not any of that chumming fishing. I think they are putting kind of a stop to that. I think like a lot of piers. I think a lot of people fish off piers.
Yeah.
And there was a pier.
Yeah.
Too. But I don't know the rules, and that's not my, you know what I mean, I don't have a dog in the fight in that. I just know that I'm going to be more careful if I come into their territory.
Yeah, that
more
would
respect.
Have scared me.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's kind of fascinating to watch, you know, to learn about them. I think that's, yeah. So there, you guys heard it. You heard my bear story and my shark story. I'm telling you right now, today, has it not been a banner morning?
It has. I tell you what, the interesting topics we've covered today.
Have we been everywhere? Yeah, and even Siri got in here with us, right?
She did. Yeah.
She appeared. Yeah. So, well, anyway, thank you guys. I need to say thank you guys. I need to take you two to lunch for listening to this story. But anyway, so just be careful out there. Stay hydrated. And, you know, and if you are, you know, I know there are people that lay out. If you're laying out, whatever you're doing, drink plenty of water. Be careful if you jump in, and, you know, if you go out into the ocean, just be very careful.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you go out in the woods, be very careful. Always be ready, or be prepared, and be, I guess, aware of your surroundings.
Yep. Yep. Good knowledge, just
even
through
if
life.
it's a dark alley somewhere, right?
That's right.
Again, be aware of
be very aware. Yeah.
Be very, very aware. Yeah. So. Anyway, and Melissa, thank you for those great tips. I want everybody to stay safe. And Hoosier Uplands, you guys are rock stars. Thank you for all that you do. I know you guys are wonderful with the heat. And if anybody's needing any kind of heating or cooling assistance, they can contact you. And I know that you'll be gearing up, getting ready for preschool with Hoosier Uplands, and of course, any kind of senior housing, and one of my favorites, Serenity Now up in Bedford. Very, very good. You guys are rock stars there at Hoosier Uplands.
Well, thank you. And if anyone does need to call us, the number is 812-849-4447, and we'll direct you to where you need to go if it's not that number, because some people are at other offices.
Right, and that's like the mothership, I call it. And so, yeah, you can direct them. And I just think, that you guys are, the help is there, and I hope people utilize this. And please utilize the help if you need it. Hoosier Uplands, you guys are fantastic. And don't forget hospice. It's a great program, and I know that's your beat. And Melissa, you guys do a wonderful, wonderful job there.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll let you go, Melissa, and you have a beautiful day, hon, okay?
You too, and I think the shark was just welcoming you, and that's why it didn't do anything.
Yeah. I appreciate that.
Rick and Bubba, earning a living off low expectations.
That's right, baby. A show that has survived by under-promising and over-delivering. Yep. In our 30th year, basically because people go, you know what, not as bad as I thought it would be. Speedy, the real Greg Burgess, Helmsy, and Eddie Van Adler. All here, Rick and Bubba interns, Super P and Cam Solo take your phone calls. We come to you from Sweet Home, Alabama, to the world on all sorts of formats, either live or archived. There's no reason that with today's technology you should miss a minute of the Rick and Bubba show. It's all available for you live and archived every day, Monday through Friday, and even over the weekends. Welcome back, Bill Bubba Bussey.
Rick, glad to be here. Thank all of you for joining us. We appreciate you being part of our routine and us part of your routine for 30 years now.
Yep.
Wow.
30th birthday coming up. We'll celebrate 30 years of Rick and Bubba in the first week of January when we come back from our Christmas vacation, which will be here before you know it.
You know, it really is incredible that there was no internet when the show started and very few people had heard of a cell phone.
That is correct.
That's what we're looking at, folks.
Okay, so one of the we want to start this hour. Now, tell me who this reporter is. You don't know how to say their name.
Okay, Rick, this is on ESPN. His first name Shaka.
Shaka?
Shaka Hislop. I don't know how else you would say.
Anybody ever heard of Shaka Hislop?
54. And they're covering, I believe it's a soccer.
That is. No wonder he passed out.
And Rick, if we listen to this audio live and watch him go down like a
Which one is he?
He is the
tall
guy on the left.
All right, here we go.
That's him talking.
Is it as a boxing up midfielder? Is it behind the strikers? Is it his guards?
Yes.
But he's not here parallel to Benzema.
No. There is a certain player at the moment
here's his
who
partner
is currently playing for PSG who kind of suits that role, doesn't he? Obviously, so much speculation about killing Mbappe and about whether or not he's going to Real Madrid this summer. He's been left behind. He's on the naughty step from PSG of Japan.
Still smiling. Oh, and down
he's playing on foul.
Let's go to a different shot.
Yeah, the bearded guy with Wow, where's Speedy when you need him?
He went down like a tree.
Well, what happened to him? I tell you what, if anybody passes out at the motorcycle ride, Speedy will be there.
He'll be there.
All right, so
did he recover?
I'm gonna guess this is a lock knee situation.
Either that or a low blood sugar. I hadn't eaten all day. Something I don't know. You never know. I mean, that happens.
You gotta love it. He kept smiling the whole time.
Well, it faked his partner off because he turned around to look like, "What are you looking at?" and smiling at, and at that point it was over.
Planted on his partner's shoulder.
I don't know what this says about me, but I want to see it again.
Well, see at least two. I think that his partner that was talking, whenever he leaned forward, like with big eyes, it's like he leaned back, like, "What are you doing?"
Yes.
Right.
Here's the broadcast audio.
He's on the naughty step
from PSG. He's not gone on the tour of Japan. What have you missed? What have you seen? Shaq.
What have you seen? Shaq. Is he calling him Shaq? Now, why does he?
Wait, we need some help.
Why is he hollering in the microphone? That's he didn't. Not that. I think it's just his free hand.
From PSG, he's not gone on the tour of Japan.
Oh my goodness!
He is smiling the whole time. He's like locked into a grin. He's joking.
I had Buckethead. That would be me doing nothing.
He's not
Back,
gone on the tour
forward. What are you looking at? Up there. We'll give it to the guy who does keep smiling. Greg, microphone down.
You and that guy have a lot in common. You moved out of the way when Ryan passed out, and he moved out of the way when his partner passed out.
How about this? I haven't seen that kind of wobbling since it was Thirsty Thursday at the minor league game. About in 7. Right. That's
yeah, we hope he's fine.
They
I'm
said
sure he
too early to make a diagnosis, but he was conscious and being treated by medical.
Yeah.
But we have
and
no.
with that being said, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's got to be a low sugar situation, locked knees, something like that. I don't think
vaccinated, you know.
Oh, that's not that serious.
We were just listing possible.
That's on the list.
That's we were.
Yeah.
Well, and on that
terrible disease, something.
Oh, and on that. Well, hopefully it's nothing serious, but people do pass out for things that aren't serious. I know that's hard to believe, but
this is his. This is his guy coming
Giving
back.
the update.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
Time then here at the Rose Bowl, it's AC Milan 2, Real Madrid 0, but that of course very much secondary to what happened ahead of the game. Obviously my mate Xhaka not here, but as it stands, it's good news. He's conscious, he's talking. I think he's a little embarrassed about it all. He's apologised profusely. Not a man who likes people to make a fuss of him. Obviously far too early to make any sort of diagnosis, but the important thing is that Xhaka's conscious, and we spoke to his family as well, because you imagine seeing that happen live. There can't be many more things that can scare you amongst a family, but fortunately we spoke to his wife and things are looking okay.
All right.
Matter of fact, they're calling that Shaka Khan. Yeah. Shaka. Shaka. Regan, I got you. Shaka Khan.
I know they're speaking English, but I can just barely understand.
I can understand Shaka Khan.
Yeah. Do you think Shaka, which what I would have done, he thought to himself, "Oh my gosh, I'm at a soccer match. How can I get out of it?"
And I'm in his suit and it's a little hot.
Right.
And he tried not to laugh a little bit in that.
And he's talking about Shaka's family scene, and if he's got brothers, they were laughing.
Hey, if there's a movie on and it's a maybe British actors or actresses, I have the volume so loud to be able to understand them.
Yes.
You could probably hear it from on the street. You could hear the movie because I'm like, I can't understand them.
You have to do subtitles,
especially when they're talking to begin with, and they're not being as clear and talking to the camera. I mean, I couldn't. For 1 minute, I thought, what language are they talking?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that is why we've never heard of him, because he's obviously on one of these. Fortes.
If you're known for coverage of soccer, there's no way for me to know of you unless you pass out and we played on the show.
Right. You know.
Yeah, that's it. Now I know.
If this guy has a little brother who maybe has not been as successful in his career as Shaka has, and he's probably give him the speech a few times about you got like we were talking about coach speech, you got to control what you can control, play through it and all that stuff. He's calling him right after that and say, "Hey brother,
I got to tell you, Shaka, he was fighting too. He didn't just go down.
No, he tried to work
he was he was fighting to stay up.
He was trying to stay conscious so bad.
So bad.
Well, because he's Shaka. on
the expression of his face doesn't change the whole time he's going down.
He's like,
so the kickoff hour.
He's grinning the whole time.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you just grin when you don't know where you're at.
Shaka.
But you guys talked about this in the kickoff hour. That's been a while back. So I think Jamie Foxx on 8 here, Adler. I think, speaking of health, I'm ready for him to give us his health update. My goodness, we thought Jamie Foxx was dying, and he's going to tell us what happened to him, but he doesn't tell us what happened to him.
No, I know, didn't say a word.
Do we get any information at all from this video?
No, and I've only screened the first minute and a half.
That's fine. That's all we need.
For 3 minutes, but he kind of explains, but not really.
First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that's prayed, man, and sent me messages. I cannot even begin to tell you how far it took me and how it brought me back. I went through something that I thought I would never ever go through. And I know a lot of people were waiting, or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was going to make it through. And to be honest with you, my sister Deidre Dixon, my daughter Corinne Marie saved my life. So to them, to God, to a lot of great medical people, I'm able to leave you this video. I cannot tell you how great it feels to have your family kick in such a way. And y'all know they kept it airtight. They didn't let nothing out. They protected me. And that's what I hope that everyone could have in moments like these.
So we get nothing.
He doesn't really say.
He just says I was bad. I didn't update you because I didn't want you to see me like that. I understand that. But but we don't know what happened to him. So basically, all he really did was tell us he's improving and working back to 100%. But we don't know what happened to him.
Did he mention if he was vaccinated?
There you go again. There you go again.
I'm sorry. I'm just joking. I think.
We'll be back.
Rick and Bubba.
Our friends at Simply Safe were recently named Best Home Security of 2023 by U.S. News and World Report. So they're probably resting on their laurels, right? Definitely not. They're always innovating, like their new 2-in-1 smoke and CO detector. It's hazard detection. It distinguishes between fire and cooking smoke, so you get fewer false alarms. Get 20% off at simplysafebubba.com. That's simplysafebubba.com for 20% off your new system, or visit rickandbubba.com under sponsors. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
All right, folks, you've heard us talking about what Relief Factor can do for your pain for several years now. If you struggle with occasional aches and pains due to aging, exercise, everyday living, consider this. Relief Factor is 100% drug-free. It's made up of ingredients that simply help your own body deal with its natural inflammatory response. And we kid you not, Relief Factor is for real. And the majority of people who ordered the 3-week quick start for just $19.95 go on to order more. Try it at relieffactor.com or rickandbubba.com under the sponsors.
For adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy, now there's Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection. With Skyrizi, 3 out of 4 people achieve 90% clear skin at 4 months, and Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Nothing in me go hand in hand. Nothing on my skin, that's my new place. Nothing is everything.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, you could achieve 90% clearer skin. Ask your doctor about the #1 dermatologist prescribed biologic in psoriasis and visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
At Taco Bell, we like to keep mornings simple because before 11 a.m., you're not down for whatever.
No.
You're not interested in trying new things.
No.
You want a breakfast that's toned down and delicious, like the Breakfast Crunch Wrap with fluffy eggs, sausage, melty cheese, and a crispy hash brown in a grilled tortilla.
I want to eat that.
See? You may not be a morning person, but it's morning, and you're a person. Taco Bell breakfast, served until 11 a.m. At participating Taco Bell stores during breakfast hours only while supplies last.
My friend and I are taking a trip to Mexico this year, but neither of us speak Spanish. So we downloaded Babbel and started learning Spanish fast.
Want to start getting conversational in another language in as little as 3 weeks? Babbel's quick 10-minute lessons were designed by language experts to be the most efficient and effective way to learn a new language.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
Babbel's interactive lessons are created by real language teachers and voiced by real native speakers using a modern conversation-based method. So in no time, you can start speaking confidently about real-life topics in another language.
Nosotras vamos a México en 2 días y ahora hablamos español.
Gracias, Babbel.
Sí, muchas gracias.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free at babbel.com. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. BABBEL.com.
Imagine getting ahead of your irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C by treating it with Linzess. And you could start proactively managing your constipation with belly pain and get ahead of your symptoms. Talk to your doctor about Linzess, linaclotide. Linzess is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually.
Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling.
Imagine, what could relief from IBS-C mean for you? Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
It is 21 minutes past the hour. The Rick and Bubba Show, 866-WE-BE-BIG is our number. As we work our way back, we'll get to more of your phone calls coming up. Some Biden stuff today.
Where did he go?
Yep.
Where did he go? He's hiding in the basement. Does anybody know?
A Basement Joe. So a couple to deal with today. First one is there's a press conference and he's going to wander out of it again. They're acting. They want to question him about China, the allegations of them hacking some of his cabinet officials to get information. But he's not going to answer that. But then, once again the confusion continues that he seems. I'm sorry, Speedy. He seems unable to figure out where he's supposed to go all the time, and then we have an update on his term that Bubba will be dear to you today. But just so here we go. Won't answer the questions, but he's not sure where to go.
Hacking of cabinet officials by China. And Mr. President, can you tell us about the hacking of cabinet officials by China and the threshold of concern you have about that, sir?
Ready?
Yes.
How we fit these guys in?
All right. Everybody seems to be.
Did he say, how do we get these guys out of here?
Y'all ready?
Everybody around him always seems to look like they're not sure what he's doing.
Right. They're confused by his move. Did you see that guy?
Yeah.
One guy's like, is he leaving?
Like, this is not what we rehearsed, or this is not.
And the guys in the hall do not expect him to open the door and walk in the hall. You can tell that. So where would we get these guys out of
Can
here?
you tell us about the hacking of cabinet officials by China and the threshold of concern you have about that, sir?
Ready? How we fit these guys in?
Look at this guy. He don't know what to do.
Look at the guy at the door.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
he's
watch
like,
the guy
what?
at the door. When he says that, he does his eyebrows like, what did he just say? Watch him right here. What? Did you see him raise his eyebrows?
Yeah, they don't know. Nobody knows what to do.
Yeah. It looked like he just saw a door and walked over to it.
He was done.
What did he say? It sounded like he said, how do we get these guys out of here?
Yeah,
something
like
how
it
once
was
you
something
get something
like
in your
that.
mind,
Yeah,
it always sounds that way.
Yeah, that's
I think it was. Hey, all right, so when we broadcasted from the White House,
And we all know you went to the White House, buddy.
we were told that Secret Service knew every step that President Trump made, what hall he was going to go down to, who he'd go to first, second, third, everything.
Not here.
You can tell when he finishes, it's not what they are scheduled to do.
Every time.
They don't know what he's doing.
Every look on their
Every
faces
time.
is, this is not what we talked about.
The threshold of concern you have about that, sir?
Yeah, I don't see him leaving through that.
How we fit these guys in?
What's his code name? Do y'all know?
Oh, it's been published.
Should be Granddaddy.
Say it again, Ad.
Should be confused.
I can't. Nobody can hear you.
Mr. Magoo.
Celtic. Do you think they go like to their wrist? Celtics on the loose.
Get ready for anything.
Celtics wondering.
Bad day for Celtics.
Celtics freelancing. Look out.
Celtics confused again. Yeah. Confused Celtic. Confused Celtic.
Celtic went out the wrong door.
He's cussing and confused.
All right. So next, Bubba.
CNN.
CNN is going to give us an update on how America feels about the presidency of Joe Biden. All right. So here we go. That'll be good.
In something titled, "Why is Joe Biden so unpopular?" Andrew Romano writes that at this point in his term, Joe Biden is the second most unpopular president in modern U.S. history. Jimmy Carter was the first. Romano cites polling data from 538, where Biden's approval rating 910 days into his term stood at just 39%.
So, Bubba, second only to Jimmy Carter.
You know, Jimmy is is advanced in years.
Jimmy's still setting the standard
and hanging on. So I'm getting off the Jimmy Carter wagon.
No, I
here
got
for
you.
now.
I got, but you got it. You have to say he's still holding his record.
He's holding his own record.
Yeah, yes,
yeah.
Yep.
Since the 70s. Yeah.
And it was, you know, and those people didn't live through it and don't remember the lines and all that. They it's hard for them to imagine that was an America that we lived in at that time.
Right. So
and even with it that bad, he still did very well in the election. He didn't win.
Right.
Reagan won, but it was not the landslide you think it